If I ever get into an argument with another agent over contract, I'm going to slay him every single time.
There you go.
You know, I never worry about that ever anymore because it was ingrained in me in the beginning that the contract is the foundation.
Absolutely.
100%.
Take the emotions out. Like you just
If you know the
refer to that
contract, you'll close
paper.
the deal, man.
Correct. If you know the contract, you know how to protect your clients. If you know how to
Yes.
contract, you know how to maneuver the deal. I mean, the contract is everything. If you don't know the contract, you should not be talking to clients.
Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
Well, welcome to Your Peak Life podcast. Mike, Edgar, Edwin, Jules, and our special guest today, Mr. Andy Gomez, in the house, in the flesh.
Appreciate it,
It's
man.
really
Thanks
you,
for
bro.
having me.
All
It
6'7"
is.
of you.
Something like that.
Perfect.
Are you 6'7"? How
No,
tall
I'm
are you?
6'4".
6'4". Oh,
6'4".
that's it.
That's it. No
That's
big
all.
deal.
It's
That's it.
standard NBA height.
Whatever.
No big deal.
The good news is that his picker is he can change the light bulbs. He doesn't need to get a little ladder or
Bro,
anything.
you know I
That's-
did like 8.5 hours of picker repairs last week.
No, you did
yeah,
not.
I did. I painted a wall. I was patching holes. I mean,
Oh,
it
my
was some
Lanta.
yeah, man, it was some shicey stuff. I'm telling you,
Shiesty?
it was good quality repairs, but like
It
they
was
were like
good
a
quality.
handyman can do it, and I
Were
was
they-
like, well, I'm handy.
Were
and
they
I'm a
work?
man,
Were
so
they
let's go.
workmanlike?
They were very workmanlike.
They were
They
workmanlike.
were very
Well,
workmanlike.
that's the thing is that we were talking about this earlier. At the end of the day, right, it needs to get done.
Right.
And if you have the mentality of getting the job done so that all parties are happy, sometimes you just got to do shit like that, right? It don't necessarily always has to be you, right, doing the stuff, but just the ability to, meet the objective, get the shit done. And that's what makes the difference between someone who's going to have longevity in this business
Facts.
and someone who's just moonlighting as a real estate professional.
Moonlighting.
no, that's fair.
Moonlighting is
That's
crazy.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Taina asks me all the time, Pop, why are we doing this? Because the deal needs to get done. It doesn't matter whose job it is. At the end of the day, are the clients happy? Is just the way the nature of the beast. That's just my mentality. That's kind of what I always preach. It's just what you have to do,
I mean, Andy's been making a lot of clients happy this year, but you know better than anybody
No, what?
on seeing this guy's journey.
Oh,
Since
I just ride his ass.
I say 0 to 100 real quick.
Hey man, I started off on
June's
Edwin's
team.
and he
Didn't
actually-
know that.
You don't
Yes,
know.
sir.
You don't know the
but
story.
Bring me the
All right,
story.
here's the
Full
story.
trip. Everyone
So
needs to
check it
know
out.
this. All right.
Memory lane.
It was 2021. My daughter was like 1 month old.
Okay.
And COVID was about to hit. And so we lived in like Norfolk off Tidewater, had a nice little single family home. My first realtor was like a friend of mine, but the deal wasn't great. I didn't realize it at the time, but like looking back at it in retrospect, I now understand how it went. And I was like, man, that's crazy. So I knew him because he sold my brother his house. And so I called him and was like, hey, man, can you come over? I think we want to sell our house, move to Virginia Beach, because my wife was like, we have a 1 month old. We're not going to live where we live now.
Yep.
Figure it out. So I called him. He came over, put the house on the market. Our house sold in like 3 days, but it was the COVID market for the buyer side. So it took us 11 offers to get the house. I was living in my mother-in-law's house in Newport News on a raggedy bed, like with a newborn. I was going to grad school. It was just all not
Sounds
good.
great.
It was so great.
Sounds like you like your
So I
mother-in-law.
remember
Yeah.
we were at a house and we called the cat piss house because we walked in and their cat was like crawling everywhere and just smelled like piss. And, like it was
Oh,
so
man.
bad. But they had like this backyard oasis. Like the whole backyard was done, swimming pool, island vibes. It was great. And so everybody was like, oh, you just buy it for the backyard, fix the inside. And we were like, not so much. And so literally I'm scanning, the MLS app as we're doing this and we're standing out by the car and a house pops up and I'm like, can we go see this right now? He calls while we're there, gets us over there. We're the first, June.
Okay.
We're the first people in the house, first showing. Owners were still there. We're the first showing. And we're like, okay, we're going to put an offer on this house. So he calls me. He was like, all right, I know we've been doing this for a while, but here's the offer we want to put. And I was like, look, man, because I came to the office with him. I was like, I'm going to drop 50 grand on top. And he just goes, bro, I don't know. And I was like, listen to me. I want this house. I'm tired of playing this game.
I remember
We're
you telling
gonna
me that
buy
story.
This fucking house. And so we won the house.
Oh.
No waived in. It was a crazy. Even now, as an agent, I wouldn't wish that kind of offer on my worst enemy.
I'm going to disagree, but go ahead. I'll let you finish the story.
But like,
Because we're going to see what you sold that house for later.
that's fair. That's fair. But we won.
Yeah, neighbor.
We
What's he
won
talking
the
about?
house, and it was, we did the closing. Everything was great. And then I remember he was like, you kind of got a knack for this. Why don't you like come try to do real estate? And I was like, I'm in grad school. I got a baby, I still thought I was a lifer in the Navy. So I was like, not too much. Fast forward like 18 months. It's like a week before my wedding. I'd been gone for like 8 months. I just got back, and my wife was like, you should think about doing the real estate thing. You got 3 weeks between our wedding and the honeymoon and like actually going back to Navy work. Why don't you just take the course, take the test, see what happens? And so I took the course, and then 8 days later, I passed the test. And then, that day I was signing for June's team. And then from then on, it's just been insane. The roller coaster ride.
Well, and then on June's team, he got Outstanding Rookie of the Year.
Boom. Damn right. What year was that?
It was last year, 23.
Damn right. Okay.
We had some killers on Home Matchmaker team, bro.
Damn
Yeah,
right.
man, the squad was deep.
Maureen and John
yeah.
came from there.
John, Juan,
Fast Pickers, Juan,
Rafiq,
Pro Home
Dion,
Builders,
Breon,
all that.
me, Taina.
Even the guy that just hung his license up, I mean, he was still selling from Chicago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Charles.
Really?
Figueroa, yeah.
Yeah, Charles.
Yeah.
I did a
Absolutely.
deal with Charles earlier.
Yeah, he doesn't even
beginning
live
of
in the
last year.
States, still
Yeah,
rocking
dude.
it.
Damn.
We
That's
did
impressive.
a lot of business came from that freaking office over there,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
We
the
had a
leadership
squad
corner
of-
used to be the Home Matchmaker team's office.
I'll tell you what.
It was the original principal broker's office, and once we eradicated that situation,
That's a good word.
we put. Thank you,
We had a good squad, though, man.
because it was Edwin was in there with Home Matchmaker,
Yeah.
and Edgar was right behind him with Realty Fever Group.
Correct.
Got you.
So
Okay.
they were the heavy hitters in this office while I was out in Chesapeake for sure.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
We did and like the whole thing. It was like competition between the teams,
Yeah.
right? But also like competition on like learning,
Right.
right? Who like we would share
And camaraderie.
information.
We had a lot of camaraderie.
I mean,
good.
back-to-back years, both top 100 teams in the country.
Right. That's
Real,
crazy.
real trends. Like that's real shit.
It's all facts.
Yeah.
So then you said that you had a different side to his story, though.
Because
Yeah.
I put a crazy we
Because
used
so-
all of our money
so-
for that house.
Yeah, he had, first he had a bunch of money. Not
He didn't want you to do that, by
no,
the way.
I didn't.
He came to me. He
knows
said,
that.
"Yo, he wants to throw 50 bands." I said, "I
needed
mean,
to win, and
if
I
it's
needed
what
to
he
assure
wants
the
to do,
win.
who are we
But
to tell him no?"
that was the market, though. At that time, that was the market.
at that time.
That was
and
the
if you
market.
think it was a 2021, it's kind of like, when is this thing going to end? Right? Like, nobody knows.
I mean, we were at like a 3%, so
Right.
in the grand scheme of things,
I remember him telling me the story. Like, I don't even know if we should do this. This is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But it's like, if it's what your client wants, then you do
You're
it.
servicing the client.
And in hindsight, right? You said I don't know if I would do the deal again. I'd say you do. I say you still do it because the amount of money you made a year and a half later.
What'd you sell it for?
I bought it for $515, but we only financed like $460 of it,
Yeah.
and then I sold it for $595.
A year later.
Yeah, like no, 2 years later, just over 2 years later.
Whereas like an average market, in a good market, right? It's like,
Yeah,
what,
you might see that return in
4%
7
growth.
years.
Right.
You
right.
saw it in 18 months.
I mean, it's good, and I mean, obviously buying. So I kind of knew what the market was going to do this year, being in the game now. And that's why I bought in our neighborhood because my house is already up over 100. And
Right.
I've been there since April.
Now here's a
I
question.
did a kitchen though. That's
There's
caveat.
something you mentioned in there. You thought you were going to stay in the Navy a little
Yeah.
longer, I guess. How long have you been in the Navy? And where was the fork in the road?
So I've been in now just almost 11 years, 10 and a half right now. When I get out, should be around July 31st. I'll be at like just over 11 years. And the fork in the road really came. I remember the day. I remember that I had closed the deal, and something went wrong with the pay stuff, and Edwin had my check at his house for my commission because it ended up going to like his account or something by accident. So I go to his house, hands me this check, and I'm like looking at it, and it's more than I normally make in a month for the Navy. Like multiple,
I remember that
multiple
day.
times over. The money's different, right?
you're
and
an
they always
officer?
said that. Yeah, I'm an officer.
And you're an
Lieutenant
officer.
commander.
Okay.
But I mean,
throwing
it's
that
like,
out
Right.
the money's
I
different.
want to add something. It wasn't that Andy was an officer. It was that Andy was a SWO. And Andy was like the typical SWO. He was going to do this. He was going to be a captain of a ship one day. He was going to excel in the Navy. He did it at a high level. Most officers didn't have that same mentality he did, right? Because he comes from humble beginnings. He was just a different type of officer. I never thought he was going to get out like dead ass. He was like a super SWO, right?
I thought I was in it to win it, man. But I mean, I sat there and I looked at that. I go home and I look at the difference in lifestyle, right? Like the ability to make my annual salary in 60 days is kind of crazy.
Right.
Choose my own schedule, work around, spend time, watch my kids grow, deployments I don't have to worry about, all the stuff. The concept I use all the time, and I know a lot of people who love the Navy, and I got no shame on them for that. But the harder you work in the Navy, the more work you get. The harder I work in real estate, the more money I make. I would rather work harder on my terms and make more money than work harder on somebody else's terms just to be rewarded with more work in less time.
I agree with you, but I say the more clients that you serve and make happy, the bigger your bank account gets.
Yeah.
But it's serving the clients first, right? You know,
100%.
If they win, you win by default.
Yeah, I mean, I've taken some big losses this year. I've been winning decently, like the numbers look good, but I've definitely done a decent amount of deals where I took hits or like, you know, had to make sacrifices in order to get
That
the
comes
deal
with more
across the
volume,
line.
though.
Yeah.
Right.
More transactions.
Absolutely.
You're going to run
He
into that
knows.
more.
No, I mean, I get
you got to
it.
do right.
I get it, but when I'm doing a deal right now, and you know, basically to make the deal work, me and the other agent agreed we'd each take 1.25%, and I was like, fine, because my client was in a bad position. I wanted to help them. I'm good.
Right.
We get to the point where they're like, well, we're not paying for nothing else, and I was like, this is just 1%, man, on like 290. I'm not worried about it. Take my commission, make the repairs with the money. Let's just get this across the line. And like the other agent was baffled by the fact that that was even an option, because he had not once, like when they said they weren't going to give him 3% and he needed to take the cut, he made like a whole fuss about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you just have to do what you got to do, you know? The referrals come, you be a good person. If you treat people right and be good as an agent and as a person to them, it'll come back around.
Yep.
I'm a big believer in karma, man. Karma comes back around. So
Both sides, both ways.
both ways. Yeah, definitely both ways.
So you're paying it forward. 2023 was your first full year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I did my first deal, and I closed my first deal in April of 23.
Dope. And that, but you took home Rookie of the Year that year.
Yeah, I got sold 9 houses at like a little over 3.4.
Damn right. That's a win. And then 2024, you're 100% up.
Yeah, I'm at
least.
a couple. I think I've sold.
It was about 254% up.
Yeah,
I love
something
it.
like that.
See?
I've sold 29. I have number 30 closing next week, so 30 deals for the year, and then I'll be just over like 11.5 mil.
Also became a team lead,
Yeah, I do have a team now. Run the
Okay.
has
Fantastic
team
Group.
members, has his own brand, has a mission and vision statement, has core values of his own.
We're
So,
doing it's
doing
been a
big
great
things.
year. I know it's
Got some good agents on the team too.
I do. I appreciate that from you guys. Also have a good coach. Got a shout out to Mike.
From the bottom.
Yeah, man. You know what's crazy about our coaching sessions is more so I call Mike with like a problem set in mind. Like we talk about wins and losses, do the normal stuff, but it's always like, okay, here's my problem for the week. And like we talk about a house I'm having trouble with or like something that I got going on, and more so to like bounce ideas back and forth off of than like specific guidance. And I think at the beginning he gave me parameters of like, hey, you need to do this. These are the kind of things you need to be striving for. And so when you take that and run with it, I get told a lot by people. They're like, oh my God, you're doing so good. How do you do so good? I'm like, I just listen to the people that have done it and do the same things. Everything you guys tell
Me and
all the
Edwin
time.
say that, dude. I'm not reinventing nothing. Nobody's reinventing anything. Okay, that's why we licensed our training program. I don't want to reinvent it. I just want to refine it with what we want to put in it. But it was already a great product that we went and learned from Jeff and Glover. Why not just add what we wanted to add to it versus creating something from scratch? A podcast. You think we just figured it out? Kinda, but
Yeah.
not. I mean, but also we went and looked stuff up. We did research.
Yeah.
What are other people using? What's working? We asked Adam with Live Unreal. Hey, what camera should we get? Hey, what microphone do you think we should
With the
use?
budget,
Like,
you know, what can we do?
yeah. So it's just we all listen to somebody else, man. I have 2 coaches.
And,
like,
and to be fair, like in the beginning, even my career, I wasn't in an environment like this.
Yeah.
I started off somewhere, no guidance. And then the team that I joined really had no guidance. It was just like, do these calls, do this, that, and the other. Whereas I always say, and I think the room here agrees, it's like in the beginning, you should have some kind of mentor, coach, a team lead.
absolutely.
Especially those first 2 years in real estate to get that database going. And we're talking about earlier, just the simple cards. Like, as I'm going down the list of all my sales and I'm looking at the listings, a lot of the agents have left the industry or are not really following up with those people because they've only done like 3 sales in the year. So I was like, guess what? You're getting a card from Edgar now.
Those
'Cause I am
orphan
gonna be
clients, baby.
your new agent.
Orphan clients, baby.
But again, had I had a coach or somebody that excels, I should have probably been doing that
From the get go.
from the get-go, right?
No.
100%.
Because I'm reaching out to clients from 2017, 2018,
Yeah.
and re-engaging those people
Yo.
because I wasn't doing that. 2019.
Man, I don't even know how many gaps have been closed. Even just look at our recruiting efforts, how they've changed since we started getting coached versus beforehand.
100%.
Now it's time blocked. Now it's targeted. Now it's, well, maybe we don't need this caliber or this caliber. We'll rock here, right? Like, all we're doing is listening to people that tell us because they've already done it. Like, it's
No,
just
I agree. I think we grew up I came up in the real estate game in a great spot. So like our team, man, I can't tell you how many times I called these guys. I remember when I got my license and I was like, June, I think I'm ready to start, going after my first deal. He said, did you learn the contract?
read a C diff.
Straight up, though.
I already know.
I came over to his
Mandatory
house
for
on a
whole
Sunday,
matchmaker team.
And if he wasn't my homie, I know this wouldn't have happened. But I came over his house on Sunday. He sits there, he's like, man, I don't fucking work on Sundays. And I was like, look, man, I'm gonna just go through the contract, bro. I suck, dog. I was horrible. I remember he spent an hour telling me basically like going through the contract, but also just kind of like, yeah, you suck at this, bro. You need to figure this out. But that day was foundational for me because now in my team, the fundamental thing is you're going to know the contract. If I ever get into an argument with another agent over contract, I'm going to slay him every single time.
There you go.
I never worry about that ever anymore because it was ingrained in me in the beginning that the contract is the foundation.
Absolutely.
100%.
Take the emotions out. Like you just
If you know the
refer to that
contract, you'll close
paper.
the deal, man.
Correct. If you know the contract, you know how to protect your clients. If you know how to contract, you know how to maneuver the deal. I mean, the contract is everything. If you don't know the contract, you should not be talking to clients. And that's just what I've always preached. That's kind of my standpoint. But a lot of what I do, honestly, is because other people around me do it. There's not one thing that I do that I made up.
He's playing. He's been sitting here playing everything back in his head. Like, who did I learn that from?
Yes, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Edwin's the king of, I'm fine being number two.
yeah, I'm
Where's the
100%. Bro, if that's working,
Give me that.
Edgar's doing this, that shit works, I'm gonna do that. Mike does this, it's working, I'm gonna fucking do that. I don't have to create anything. And nothing has to be, Edwin, I don't care. It works, let's do it.
Right.
We all do that for each other. Like, think about John and Juan, how integral they've been for the whole company.
Yeah.
They came off your team, but now running fast pickers and pro home builders and having something like a spruced up that kind of spun off of that all in-house as tools to like, there's no problem that we could have in a transaction that we can't solve.
Yeah.
When did you two guys meet? In the Navy, right?
No. I was helping. All right, so ultimately came through one of my boys, Jeff. Jeff has two daughters. One is an agent here, Jessie Vespri. She's here. She's one of our agents. And Alexa. Alexa was buying a home. Alexa happened to be married to Andy's brother. Andy's brother, George.
Yeah.
The home inspector now.
Yep, the home inspection. You see how everything goes? He works for Matt.
Matt, yeah.
You know what I mean?
He did one of my houses there.
Yeah. So this is how the whole circle. So George wasn't around.
Okay.
Right? Alexa was here. George needed his big brother, which really his big brother kind of runs the family. And I'll say that. The big brother, he is a true big brother. Right?
Who's bro? I'm lost. Who's the big brother?
I'm the oldest of three.
Okay.
You're the big brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy's
Okay,
the
I'm
big
like, is there
brother.
another one I don't know?
No, it's just
Andy, George, Hector.
Got it.
Hector's the baby.
Andy's the big dog.
Andy, everything goes through Andy. This is my perception. This is what I have found out throughout the years. So we're helping him.
kind of
He's helping him buy a house. George will only listen to Andy. So I would have to tell Andy something
So he could tell.
so he could tell George it because that's just the way.
That's the
the
dynamic.
dynamic,
Yeah.
right? And then we ended up actually becoming friends throughout that transaction. So before I sold him a house, we was already boys.
Because you had to talk to the elder.
Correct. So I didn't help him, but we became boys, and we have the same circle.
Yeah.
His families, and it's just
Well,
all
that's
intertwined.
the first time I've heard, like, you know how we gripe about like having that parent or that other relative is
Yeah.
a pain in the ass sometimes
Yeah.
in a transaction. That's the first time I've heard a positive thing out of
From
it.
this angle,
Yeah.
But I could see those conversations, like how'd they usually end? Andy telling you, "I got you, bro. I got you. I'll explain it."
Nah,
You know what
I
I'm
got
saying?
you, bro. Don't worry about it.
I already
That's
know.
what he says.
I already know.
I got you, bro.
I didn't realize the gift for Gab was so important, but like, I tell you what, like it's a gift, and because I'm a Showtime kind of guy. Like I'm horrible at cold calls. I'm so bad at it.
Yeah, but if I put
I
you in
don't
a
know.
living room,
you
you'll
put me in
kill it.
somebody's room in front of them, it's over. I'm getting it. I've not been afraid to go across a table from anybody in a listing appointment.
Damn right.
In recent memory.
Because you've prepared.
Yeah, because like I'm not worried about who I'm going against. I know what I'm gonna say when I get to that table, and I know my product is good. So if you choose somebody else, it's not because I was bad. It's because you made a choice that you wanted something else. And so that I don't know what it is, but like face to face, I'm a killer. But don't put me on the phone. At least not until after we've met.
So
For now.
I feel like I know what that is because I'm the same way. Well, at least I used to be. I could pretty much sell anything at this point. But there was a good, I don't know, 10 years where phone calls are not my thing, man. They're just not. Like, I come across a certain type of way over the phone, even if I don't mean to. Whereas in person, you could see my mannerisms, you could see a smile, you could feel a joke versus like you're just on the phone. This guy's a fucking prick.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't really get over that. Like, so what do we want to talk about since you already said fuck me? You know, I don't. Where I'm from, we don't respond to that with like pillow talk. It just never added up to me. Like to have this what felt like a useless conversation to maybe get business that probably isn't even going to happen. Like, so I think it's just a matter of we're very real, authentic people. So it's much easier to connect like this versus like on a cold call. Like Edgar, I feel like Edgar's not a cold caller. Right?
No,
you're a right here kind of guy. Like, let me see you face to face. Let me talk to you about what I can do. But like getting over that, honestly, I didn't get over that until I got out of the Navy. When I was like, you know what? I actually have to call these strangers.
So I agree with that. I've been thinking about that a lot.
It took a lot of reps, and that's when it happened. Is when I had to do it because I had no other choice.
Yeah.
You know, something else I took away though is that, you know, the peak performance. I went through that, and when you talk about the DISC method and like reading people's personalities, I kind of get it from their mannerisms instantly, and
That
that's my
stuff
comfort thing.
taught
If
me
I
so
just say
much.
hi to you and like I get your response based on your tone and how you look at
I'll
me,
tell you
your
what,
eye
though.
contact.
Yep.
I just like I don't
Then
know,
you know-
inherently I pick it apart.
you know
and
how
I
to
know what kind of
respond.
person I need to be
Yep.
in order to make this a meaningful conversation.
Absolutely.
And then if you're not good with like me being hyper and super extroverted, you know, we can ease our way into that. But you
Right.
know, you got to tailor yourself.
The
to
one I'm
client a little
taking
bit.
a lot of
Yes.
notes on is
You do.
Amplify Your Influence. That's been a great book.
I'm glad you're doing that, bro. I sent it to you
Amplify,
too.
man, I'm so many hours into it.
Listen, I'm
but
telling you, Renee Rodriguez.
anchoring, get the book. I'm doing the audiobook, but like anchoring your whole
Your message, bro.
your message, like how what I like about that
Bro.
book, most importantly, is how he's already giving you the stories, because that's what I need.
How you deliver your message.
Why
bro.
you're doing the message and how you deliver it, but he's giving the stories and the examples. Or
He's showing you how to do it. It's incredible.
it's a
I gotta
great
check it out.
bro,
This
book.
I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
you guys
Get
have
that
seen me speak, and you're gonna continue to see me speak. You are gonna see a night and day difference from day one to after me
Right
spending
now, I'm at the part
a
where
day
he's
with
talking
him.
about that shutdown in New York City, and he took like 50 examples from just that one scenario where it's like some people were calm, some people were this,
Yep.
but he's making stories out of it and how to deliver the message in these speeches. But get the book. But I would say that book right there, man, I know I'm gonna level up just by that one book.
Phenomenal. So what he does is he takes ethos, pathos, logos, kairos, and there's telos, all based on Greek mythology.
They were the first ones.
And if you go look at those definitions, he's teaching you how to earn those from your crowd and how to utilize them properly. And then he teaches you how to frame your message, how to deliver it, and how to tie it down. And what that means is this is what I'm trying to get across to you. This is how I'm going to get across to you. And this is how I'm going to make it stick. This is phenomenal, bro. Like, I spent 2 days with him. He gave me one piece of advice that just changed how I even speak altogether. He said, when you walked in this room, I knew you were a lion. There's no need to roar.
Yeah.
I literally reconstructed entirely how I present a speech, just based on that, like, piece of guidance. Phenomenal. Read the book. I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it there.
Yeah. I would say I'm going to go through it again, and then I'm going to try to make my own examples.
But that may help you also, just like the disc did, as far as like giving and receiving a message. Because you've always told me, oh, Mike, you're a great storyteller. But now I know how to like really get you in it. You know what I mean? Like a story's just a story. When you can reel somebody in and they feel like they're living it, that's when it reaches a different thing. And that could definitely help you do that for sure.
No, for sure.
I mean, how does that help you as we enter 25? You know, you have goals, aspirations.
Yeah.
You have a
Yeah.
lot
Tell
of-
everybody what the goals are.
Like what? Let's get you on camera right
Absolutely.
now.
Nah, man. So my goals for myself, I want to sell 45 houses myself. I did 30 this year. My goal was 24. Then it was 27. Then it was 36 because Mike doesn't really let you keep a bar anywhere that's fucking attainable. So we kind of moved it like 4 or 5 times throughout
Which
the
means
year.
you attained it 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. So that was that. I'm gonna go 45 for myself, and then I want the team to sell 30 without me. So I want to do 75 units across myself and the team. A big calculus in that is that I'll be able to be a full-time agent for about half the year.
Right.
And so that means I can be in the office every day and like really leading the team. And I think I owe them a lot more than they're getting now, just because I have the divided mental between the Navy and being an agent. I'm still providing them a lot.
And getting your brokers.
And getting my broker's license. Gotcha. Yep, I'm going to do that as well.
Overachiever.
Once I become full-time, and I have so many like goals and ideas and things I want to put into place, I just need to be there to do it physically, like to be able to be present for them every day.
Do you want to, you're going to stop by and take a peek at that office?
Yeah, I'm going to go take a peek at it.
So we have an empty space in Red Mill. He had mentioned trying to get his team a space. So I figure you live right there. It would make sense.
You're the ideal person to occupy that.
And so I think it's great. It would be perfect if it was just me. So I just got to look at it from their perspective. My goal is, because I can't be around personally as much, if I can give them a central communal space. And we kind of talked about this.
Yeah.
That, but they got to show up to do the work.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
so
a big thing,
this is
discussed.
where I will say, because that was my initial thought, was like, where's his team live? However, for Andy to be more physically present, it makes sense for the office to be closer to you.
Yeah.
So if they want to get what you're willing to give, there's got to be some give and take somewhere. Like, hey, you got the training, you got the leads, you got the office space, but you got to come to my side because I got this other thing. I think they would be more than happy to do that. But you'll have, we had this conversation on the phone the other day. I just think it'll build that camaraderie that you're looking for, that he had on Home Matchmaker, that he had on Realty Fever, that Bash has right now, that Maureen has right now. Like, it is always nice to have a place to come in and say, let's get to work,
Right.
as a group.
It was probably the greatest thing, though. I would just come in days after work, and always somebody would be in that office, whether they were doing nothing or something. I could always ask a question, or they'd be like, call somebody, or they'd give me some tips and tricks. Like, there's always somebody I could talk to about what I need to be doing next, or like how they're prospecting. Man, I learned so much from just showing up, like being in the office, present with other agents, listening to their conversations,
100%.
hearing them negotiate, all that. Like, it was like a sponge mentality. Like, it was amazing.
Absolutely.
And
That's
I
why-
want that for the team.
That's why we tell people to come in. I mean, there's so much more than just real estate. I mean, the financial aspect about it.
Yeah. That
Well,
tax
people
game
are-
ain't no joke.
What people are doing outside just the real
I don't even
estate, the
wanna talk about it
events,
right now, bro.
the events, the marketing. Like, there's so much when you come into the office.
Well,
Just-
when you don't come into the office, right? When you don't come into the office. Let's say you're working from your home office, right? Can people do that? Absolutely. But what are you gaining? What knowledge are you gaining from outside of doing your own research? You in the office, you're in an environment where everyone is doing deals, and you're learning from their deals also, because people are communicating. And that was the difference. That's what I'm going to tell you. One of the biggest
Absolutely.
shifts was when I came here, and I always say it, when I came here and my first perception of Iron Valley real estate, I was at a different brokerage. I always think of like Wall Street. Like, that's what my
But that's-
perception
bro,
was.
that's what
I
I
came
wanted.
into the office.
That's what I wanted.
People got stuff on the
real.
boards. People
Wolf
talking
of Wall
about
Street
deals.
vibes.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what it was, and that's ultimately what I want to say that we kind of replicated. Like, in my team, home matchmaking team, if you didn't come into the office, if you weren't in the office, I didn't give you any leads.
Right.
Like, if you weren't physically at Bendix, you weren't gonna be on my squad. Just the way it is. I
That was
don't.
the bylaws of your team.
Yeah, that's how it was, and
Yeah.
it kind of worked because everybody kind of maintained. Deon and Breon's always here. Andy's, I know he's gonna be there once he's full time. Marine's there every fucking time, right? It's just kind of what Edgar was here. If I wasn't here, Edgar was here. If I wasn't here, LJ was here. Ask LJ.
Right.
We were here. Like,
bro.
that's what.
But that was a cool thing. I could always walk into that office and talk to his team. They would absorb it.
That's dope.
No, I really want that. That's something I strive for, and I'm looking forward to being like, I'm so excited to be a full-time agent, just to have the presence and to be able to do so many more things, Also, like an admin, we talked about that too. That's another goal, is to get a team admin who can do a bunch of stuff to alleviate some of that, so we can really just get down to like the realist,
yeah, you guys should be prospecting and taking appointments.
Yeah.
Now, with all these extra income and that you're going to be making, what are the goals outside of just real estate? Like investment properties, flip, like what else do you do with that?
I've been aggressively trying to get out of entirely, like all the way out of debt before I separate from the Navy, right? So, I'm trying to protect myself and my family for when the Navy paycheck goes away.
Right.
You know, I don't want to need it. And so, you know, we're working on getting there. I think we're pretty decent at it. But you never know what you have until it's gone, right? So, like, right now, I feel, everything's great. And then one day you don't get the paycheck and you're like, okay, quite literally, and you guys know this, going from the most secure paycheck in the world to the least secure paycheck in the world.
Right.
And so that is a very big mental shift for someone like me who is very self-driven. So it's hard for me to have downtime and be like, oh, I should be prospecting right now. I should be doing something, because if I don't, there's no paycheck at the other end for what I'm not doing. So like trying to balance, like the family life balance for that.
The medical side, I think, is the biggest hurdle.
The medical stuff. So luckily, my wife's job has a very, very, basically it's like a corporate version of TRICARE. So medical,
Nice.
we're actually decent on that one because she has a good job.
Damn right.
So I'm lucky on that. Front. But yeah, that's another thing I hear a lot of people have problems with. But my goal is to get out of debt, and then we eventually want to get a pool.
Well, also, you mentioned you kind of skim by it, but Nana's a huge deal. Like, there's a lot of spouses out there that's not going to be, hey, it's okay, Lieutenant Commander, get out the Navy and do real estate full time.
100%.
Like,
She's so excited, y'all.
like
That's,
I don't know.
no, he's right, man. That's dope.
that's I mean,
It's
yeah.
that support matters, bro. That
Yeah,
support
I
matters.
think our big thing is, though, like one of our biggest love languages is like being together.
Yep.
And so she's okay, and I say this lightly. Okay is not exactly the right term, but you know, there's days where I do Navy work till 4 or 5, and then I would do real estate till odd hours of the night.
Yep.
You know, just it's part of the game. If your real estate doesn't sleep, it may not be immediately important, but like, you know, you got to catch up on your paperwork.
Yeah.
So whenever I go full-time real estate, she'll be okay with that, but I'll be able to like eat breakfast in the morning, take my kids to school every day.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
we can do our morning routine versus night routine, you know, stuff like that, that I don't have the luxury of right this second.
Listen to me,
because
man.
You know how it works.
I'm sure these guys can attest to it. The first time that you don't have to go to duty, the first time that you don't have to worry about an underway schedule, the first time that you can be there for any and everything that you choose to be there for, which will be everything because you've missed so much, that in and of itself, any doubts that you have will no longer exist, I promise you.
Yeah.
The absolute best thing in my life was the ability to have and see my kids at any time, to go to any practice, to go to any school event. Like, just, I don't even care when we miss the bus in the morning because I get to go sit in the drop-off line. Like,
That's a good way to look at it.
we missed that for how long?
Yeah.
Well, now you get to live that and enjoy it, and like you're gonna appreciate it, bro. I'm telling you, it's gonna be the freedom. I don't know how to explain the freedom. Can you guys explain the freedom?
I get it.
well, so I'm going to tell you that the freedom takes a while to get accustomed to.
That's also true. Yeah.
Right? The freedom takes a while to get your brain programmed into you don't have to be there.
This is okay.
It's okay to spend time with your family.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the
saying
hardest
that,
It's hard. I still struggle
listen,
shutting it off.
I
Bro.
tell these guys sometimes so much shit that they don't care about. Like, Edwin, why are you telling me go be with your family?
He reported in the chat the other
You
day.
know?
I was
Yeah,
like,
nobody cares. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
like-
like, yeah, go hang out with your wife, bro.
Yeah,
Like, what are you
but
talking about?
it's something that
No.
you just it's
It's
you have to
ingrained.
get accustomed
Yeah.
to it after you've been doing it for so long. So
You have to report to
once
somebody you're dealing with.
Yeah.
once
Calm
you
that
get
wife, land,
accustomed to being okay with the freedom is you can't compare it to anything
Yeah, I would say
else.
like I don't like do that.
Yeah. I
Like,
get
I
it.
don't like
Yeah.
unless it's like something I have to miss because we plan something. I'm definitely letting everybody know. But that freedom, that time, everybody knows you don't get that back. So that is super valuable.
Edgar don't miss his kids'
Yeah.
events, bro.
Zero.
He don't.
but we all support each other. It's different. It's just different.
Yeah, I agree.
It's different.
I don't see you having a bad family life, but
Yeah.
you're definitely adding to it,
Yeah.
especially the children. Just because of the way I grew up, I know those feelings of not having a father there for the dad events or seeing that family in the crowd. Fucking important.
Yeah.
Super important. I know the feeling.
I mean,
I carry it with me, so.
the one thing I can't compare with you guys is actually serving, right? But I can't see my son leaving every other day going on duty and him telling me all the reports and me just being raised around this my entire life in the area. But you're living what I deemed the entreployee life for a very long time. You have your day job, putting in your 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours, whatever it is, and then you're putting in the additional 30, 40, 50, 60 after the fact. So 80 to 100 hour weeks are normal for you.
Oh, Easy.
You see what I'm saying?
Easy.
But then when you get out, you're like, wait, half of that time is now mine again. What do I do with it? You are the type of person, it reminds us of everyone in this room, you're just going to go hard, right? You're not going to deem that to the
I'm gonna
other
open an
stuff.
office.
Right.
I'm gonna write a book.
No,
I'm gonna
my
start
wife
speaking.
is literally like, she was like, I don't know what you're gonna think you're gonna do with this free time because you're just gonna fill it with like
Exactly.
You're selling 10 houses now. You're gonna sell 20 houses when you don't have the Navy because that's just how you are.
That's what you're going to do.
Gotta consciously remind myself to.
Well, but now it's 30 plus homes, and now it's gonna be 100 homes.
Yeah,
It's gonna
not
have
gonna
you have
stop.
that you have that drive. Like I probably know you the least in this room, but I already know game recognized game, bro. You got the it.
Listen, bro.
You're on it.
When you have a coaching call scheduled and the client calls you,
every time, bro. Every time.
it's like, okay, he's not playing.
I tell you what, that's probably like one of my things though. I can't stand being late. Like I can't stand it. Like timeliness is something that it was like
the freedom that he was
trait to
talking
have.
about. I'm gonna tell you right now, everything you're gonna do in this realm, 5 to 10 minutes late is absolutely okay.
and I get that.
I'm not saying I
It's
practice it.
It's a personal,
But I
thing,
do
though.
find
Like,
myself.
I will always be
I
on
find
time.
myself like, damn, I'm late. Oh no, and then,
If you're not, if
yeah,
you're,
if
you're
I'm
on
not
time,
15 minutes early, right?
if you're on time, you're late.
But then I get somewhere and it's like, oh, they didn't even start yet. Oh wait, this is actually a 30-minute mingle cocktail mixer for the first 45 minutes or whatever. Because we don't think like that. We think come, do, leave.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you can hang out. It's fine. Take your jacket off, hang it up.
Yeah, yeah,
you know what I
know.
mean?
It's gonna take some acclimating.
It's
I'm looking-
hard, bro.
I'm
Listen,
excited for it.
RPT.
I still don't do it. I was in a group chat on Christmas talking about, sorry, I can't turn it off.
I really tried to
It's
do
just what it is.
no real estate on Christmas.
Yeah, right.
It was like I made it till 7:30
Okay,
in the
yeah.
evening. So I did. Okay.
Oh, so you didn't make it.
No, I didn't make. Well, it
Got
wasn't
it.
my fault. I got served the first right of refusal.
Well,
Served.
that's true.
Served.
Knock,
Served.
sir. Here's your first right of refusal.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like it was contingent the whole time, Andy. What do you mean you got served?
The point was when I looked at the date, it was signed on Christmas Eve, and they waited until
Christmas.
7:30 Christmas Day. They could have just
Hey,
waited
hey.
until the next day.
They were having Christmas as well, okay?
They're
Good for
supporting
them.
your holiday. They ruined your night, not your day. That's what they did.
I'm good, man. We're gonna get through it. You know.
Yeah, that's
right.
just one more present to open.
Yeah.
You're thinking about it the wrong way.
I have a serious question for you. Now you know you're getting out. Now you know you're on a team. You know what your goals are for the team. Where's the transcendent group in 5 years?
I haven't thought about that too much because I've been so focused on the short term. I do ideally, we talked about it before. I want to own a brokerage one day. Take the team, have our own office, have agents. That's a long term goal of mine. And I know the team will grow, but I also know, like, seeing the way that you guys kind of did it. Your teams went off and all of them became leaders, and you guys went up and had brokerages, and now your teams have teams and stuff like that. So I'm not 100% sure which path it's going to go down. I know that I will be there for them throughout the whole thing, though. And, if they want to come for the ride, I'm 100% with it. I got a good team, though, man. They're awesome. I really appreciate them. I learn from them just as much as they learn from me. I don't think people get told that as much. But, like, being, like, a career leader doing the Navy stuff or whatever, it's all about people wanting to follow you, not being forced to follow you. And so the fact that they're even here and want to listen to what I have to say and work hard, together to get to where they want to be, where I want to be, it's
Leadership is a privilege, man.
yeah, something. But ideally, 5 years, we got a brokerage. The team is running. Whether it's the same group or not, if they're off doing their own thing, that's fine too. But that's definitely the long-term goal.
Awesome. Good stuff.
What's a personal goal that Andy set for himself this year, business aside?
I got a personal trainer, and I'm trying to cut weight and, like, get back in shape. I really work in all these hours.
Where you working out at? Because
So
I know your wife. I just saw her.
she's Iron Asylum.
I see your wife everywhere, dude.
Yeah. So we
Because
have
of
the
that,
same-
her truck.
Yeah.
You can't
Of
miss
course.
it.
Wait, what's she driving?
She's got
It's
the lime green.
lime
Tier.
green.
Oh yeah, it's
Bro.
fucking sticking out. You can see it everywhere. You see it once,
Bro.
you see it everywhere now.
And I'm like always waving. I'm like, wait, Andy's not in there this time. Like,
Nah.
but she was just at Iron Asylum yesterday, I think.
So we have the
when I
same
went.
trainer. He's a frat bro of mine, but I do in-person training. So it's in Norfolk at 5 a.m. And then she does the virtual, which is like workout schedules and meals. And then she does like videotapes her workouts and sends them in. And I think it's just different types of personality. Like I said, I don't like being late, right? So if I know that somebody's waiting for me at 5 a.m., I'm going to get up at 3:50 to be there at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
If nobody's waiting for me, I could sleep in. It's just kind of, my crux. I'm
Yeah.
not perfect.
You going on base?
No, it's he's got like a workout center downtown Norfolk off of near the Church Street Granby intersection.
Dope.
Right there. So It's like 4 or 5 people. It's like a private personal trainer session. All the workouts are specifically for me. So I've been doing it for about 2 weeks now. Just started, but my goal is like before Jamaica, I have like a law school, and then hopefully by the time I get out the Navy.
Oh yeah, you top 25'd it. I forgot. So yeah, you're going to Jamaica, the
Yeah,
peak
man.
performance trip.
I'm excited about that.
So what's the number goal, since you're looking at it from a weight loss perspective?
So I'm trying to lose. I want to get back to about 230. I'm like 280 right now, so about 50 pounds. But I don't want to do what normally I do, which is like just do a bunch of cardio and then barely don't eat.
Yep.
So like my meals, I track my meals now, but it's not like super diety. It's just like moderation, if you will.
Yeah.
Kind of eat what I want, eat a good amount of protein, try to keep the macros somewhat right, but don't like sacrifice Christmas dinner.
Facts.
Last night we really didn't have a good eating day, so we ate pizza for dinner because we had a bunch of extra calories to burn.
Yep.
You know, stuff like that. Walking 10,000 steps a day, trying to stay consistent with it. Something that's long-term sustainable, and that if you just have a bad day or you go out to indulge, it's not going to screw your whole system.
Yeah.
And so at bite-sized chunks, and also not like expecting a week to work out for 3 days and then be like, why am I not shredded?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I promise you that's so
It doesn't
common.
work like that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my personal goal
Good.
is to get back in shape and to be like where I want to be physically by the time summer comes around.
Health is wealth, my friend.
Yeah. I know. I have a friend whose brother runs like a private jet company in New York City, and he was just like, I went home for Christmas, and he's a Navy officer guy. He was like, yeah, I'm just happy. Maybe I'll get a new car. And he was like, all they talked about was like health and detox. They didn't talk about money at all. They don't care about the money anymore. They're like, who gives a shit about the money if you're not allowed to spend it or to use it? So all they talk about is like how strict their diets are, and like just when you become wealthy, the thing that's more expendable than anything is your life. Mm-hmm. And so, I think it's something good to
Comes
live
with
by.
age and wisdom as well. And seeing a lot of things happen. So one last thing, I'm going to go around the room. I had like a mid-coughing attack, hence why you didn't hear me for a while. Thank God it went away. One thing, when you think of everybody in this room, what comes to mind? First thing, Mike.
Aggressive.
Edgar.
I don't know. That's not fair. Honestly, because like when I first started talking to Edgar, like it's
Too long of an answer.
Real. Like every time I ask him a question, it's a real down to earth answer.
June.
That's my boy, man. We homies. We're
Me.
homies before everything. DJ, sadly, but I love it though.
That's what happens.
You know what's
Why'd
crazy?
I have
I'm gonna
to
tell
get
you a
aggressive,
story.
though?
I'm gonna tell you a story. Why? Because
You could have at least used my brand ass. No, Tenacious would have been better.
let me tell you what it is, though.
Tenacious D.
Here's what it really is. So I respond to a certain type of personality well. When I need to be held accountable, I can't be held accountable by somebody who's like soft-spoken. I need the aggressiveness because I know that in most cases, and I'm not to sound arrogant, but like I'm pretty intelligent, and so like if you're soft-spoken to me and it's not stern, it doesn't come across with facts, and it's
Confidence.
100%, confident and true, I'll probably pick holes in it. Even if I'm wrong, I'm gonna try because my defense mechanism. So with someone like Mike who comes across aggressive, pointed with facts only, it's very hard to find a fault. Not impossible.
Pointed with facts only is hilarious.
But that's dope.
But I know, even because when we talked about the coaching thing, I knew I needed a person like that in order to complement my personality type, or I wouldn't get what I needed to get out of it. But a funny story I want to tell about you is that you were going to DJ my wedding.
And then what I do wrong?
You went on a cruise with your family.
What I do wrong? I don't think you did anything wrong, man.
No, you went on a cruise with your family, and you were like, "Oh, I double booked," and my wife was like, "The DJ double booked," and now we had to find.
I
Somebody
remember
else.
that.
You remember that? Yeah, that was funny.
But I told you months in advance, though. I didn't tell you like a week or two
Since you
before.
said I'm
Okay.
so aggressive, you should know Julian DJ'd my wedding.
I'm aware. I remember.
Yeah, he only changes plans for certain people. I mentioned that when I was talking.
Yo, when Nina listens to this, I can't wait, bro. Watch the vein in her forehead come back. It's gonna be
I got to
great.
say, Lorraine is probably popping right now. That's hilarious.
No, man, but it's good.
Who ended up spinning it, by the way?
DJ West the best.
Yeah, West Side.
Yeah, him.
Tall, like skinny black dude.
Yep.
West good. He's good.
Yeah, it was good. We had a good time.
He's a good guy.
I got one last thing for you, though. We sit here and grill people with questions all the time. I want you to ask each of us any question that's on your mind to close out the episode.
Oh, that's good. I didn't come with any questions prepared.
I know. That's why
Yep.
we do this.
You have 4 you got to ask now.
I know. I gotta think. Yeah. See, now it's gonna be an awkward silence because I don't even know
That's
what
fine.
to ask.
We got all day. Here, I'll make sure
We got
this
plenty.
is-
We got plenty of day. All right, Mike. What's up with the next book, man?
I thought you didn't have no questions.
Well, that was an easy one, so now I can think while you talk.
All right. Well,
Smart guy.
I believe my next project will be titled "Be Tenacious," a story of sustained superior resilience. And And that's essentially going to be my life story from birth to now. So that's the goal. It's going to take a little longer than the last one, but
Right.
12 to 18 months, I think. But I want it to be like with a book tour, with a major publishing company, with some professional marketing backing, you know.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens, man. But until then, I'm back in a lane of like, I just rebranded my personal team. I already got a few contracts on the board for next year.
Nice.
I don't know. I'm in like remind motherfucker season. Like, just in case y'all forgot, I can go for 70 or 80.
That's smooth.
So I want to, my word for the year is focus. So I'm focused on that project and just the companies in my personal business.
I got Julian's is like you now own a brokerage. It's been just a little bit of time. How's that startup going and stuff? I mean, LJ, I know
Super fire.
I know
Last
it is.
couple weeks.
Yeah, man. I see you guys recruiting all the agents and stuff.
Well, and I'm a firm believer, and this is circling back to something else you said too. Getting in the room is very important. That's 50% of the battle right there. Showing the fuck up, right? So this time last year, we were having conversations, very brief conversations. The trigger was getting pulled right around this time, give or take. I got to call you guys out. Nothing was signed, nothing was solidified because I had to move out over before we could do anything. Makes sense. Okay. But I'm like, I don't do business that way, yo. Like I got to have something on paper. I got to make sense. But to be fair, these guys lived up to everything that they said they're going to do and more. But that leads into the question that you're saying, running the brokerage. You can go out and start and do your own thing. Anybody. We're in the land of the free. You can do whatever the hell you want to, or you can just remix it and make it work for you by just taking the cars off and putting it on your car. The wheels off your car and putting it on your car. It makes no sense to try and start something from scratch when you have the know, like, and trust factor and you've seen people do this already and grow to a level that you know that you can be at with them, not just against them, with them, because it's all about collaboration here at Iron Valley. I'm excited as fuck, for lack of better words. Life is good, but like you said before we even started here, what's next? I want more. I want to keep going. You know, that drive is there. And partnering with LJ, I got to give you guys credit. I always call you out on this one, June, because I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? I don't know. I don't work with people I don't know and shit like that. But he's no homo, the yin to the yang. He's smart as hell when it comes down to the things that I need help on, and vice versa. So I can immediately say I know what I'm strong at and what I need help with. But knowing that I have these three gentlemen and then Eric Edwards as well to give a call to just to have as a guidance in the homies, just in the back end, that's extremely helpful and very valid. And to be fair, I don't think I would have made that choice if it wasn't with this group. Actually, no, I know I wouldn't have made that choice if it wasn't for this group. So I listened to my gut. Sometimes the gut is the right thing to listen to outside of heart and mind.
Yeah.
And so far, so good.
No, man. That's dope. I agree. Me and June, I asked June anything I ever wanted to ask him, man. You know, what's next for you, man? You and Taina taking over the world? I talk to him about everything, like all the time.
So
Like,
I would say for me, what's next? What's next is what I started last year. My focus has always been the company. Last year, I kind of shifted. You know, I did away with the team. And I think this year it's focusing. The last 2 years, I learned how to be an owner. I don't know if that makes sense to people, but
Well, I'm
going to
tell you, it's not going to make sense to anybody that hasn't done it.
yeah. So, for those who've owned a brokerage or a business, the first couple of years, you're kind of learning what it is to be an owner, right? What are your duties? What are you good at? What are your strengths? What do you need to work on? I think the last 2 years, I kind of got a good idea of what my role is, Edwin Rodriguez, within the company. I helped Taina establish herself as a top producer. This year is focusing on me, getting my pockets up, right? Getting back into production, also continuously my role as an owner of Iron Valley. So it's really just maintaining everything that I've been doing and kind of focusing a little bit on me. I've been helping a lot of people for a lot of years.
Yeah, man. Me
Right?
included.
I think I want to focus on Edwin Rodriguez, in 25.
Just answer my calls, all right?
Yeah, I always answer anybody.
I'm about to say, I never have to worry about that.
You failed.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, man. I'll call him. I'll call him at wild, and I know he'd be asleep by like 7:30, and I'm
7:30,
still
5:30.
7:30's crazy,
8:15
bro.
and see if he answers
Maybe
the phone.
8:30.
Every time.
He's
man.
upset you're calling.
And you know what's crazy?
You can tell he's grumpy.
Because if he don't answer, I'll just call Rebecca.
That's funny.
That is true.
I'm getting through, goddamn
That
it.
is hilarious.
It's like I will find you.
I'm getting through.
The
Nah,
work
man.
line and the personal line. What's
I
up?
love it.
Nah, man, that's been a huge benefit for me though, for you always being there for me. So I
Always
greatly
will, bro. We
appreciate it, man.
homies.
Yeah, and then Edgar, man, you're still in production and being the principal broker over at Prestige. How's that balance going? Because being an owner is one thing, producing, as we know, is another thing.
Nah, same thing. I'll be in production 2025. Same thing. That's just another source of income that it's easy. So, I mean, same thing like Edwin. The last 2 years were tough. I mean, there was a financial investment to get into ownership here. Also, doing this.
Time investment, right?
Time investment, the recruiting, it took a hit. And so now it's like, but at the same time, like, I could live off of crumbs. Like, it's like,
Been there, done that.
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
right?
yeah, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever, right? That's not stressful for me.
Man, your crumbs are like filet mignon the most. Ain't nobody trying to hear that.
You've been putting processes in place, though.
But
as
I've been
well.
putting processes, and also to his point, it's like I know I got a good squad at Prestige where it's like I need to double down on those agents. Like you guys saw that. I meet with a lot of the team leads and everything. I'm doing one-on-ones, and there's so much more Prestige can grow with the team that's there already, or the brokerage. With the agents that are there, we can grow all of that. Same thing with Hampton Roads, Norfolk. Every single brokerage can grow with the group that's already there. So that's my focus, number one. Number two, the production is going to go up. And then there's goals that I haven't hit that I made years ago when I started real estate, and that was just buying more properties, things like that. So 2025 production goes up for the brokerage as a whole, for myself. Deadscape paid off, houses start getting bought again.
Boom.
So that's what's happening.
Andy, one thing: buy as many doors as you can while you can.
Yeah,
That's my tip to you. I don't know if everyone will agree in here, but owning doors has helped me drastically during the seasons. Let's just say that. That's just one thing I would say.
I
to you.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, there's going to be new builds for me.
There's always winter before spring.
facts.
It's true.
There's always famine before feast.
No, man, I've learned so much. It's been great, and I look forward to getting after it next year. I couldn't have done it without you guys in the room. And I don't know, man, it feels weird. Everybody looks at you, and they're like, oh, my God, you're doing so great. And I'm just like, cool, but this is not enough. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know that feeling? It's so
I know
weird.
exactly what
It's
you mean.
I
so
know. I
weird.
think it's never gonna stop, man. Like, people say that to me. Yo, bro, you retired. You're doing so great, and then I look at myself like I'm freaking drowning.
Right.
Right? From the perspective, I don't think it's gonna. People like us, we just gonna continuously. What's next?
Yep.
What's next? Because that's what drives us.
Bro, you literally just hit me with the what's the next book?
Exactly.
It's just always something.
Look,
It is.
We all knew
But
you
I
already
think-
had it done.
I think you
already knew what
saw
it
the
was.
snippet in the group. I think that's why you asked. But
I'm in the movie, bro. Pitbull's
say
playing
you're in the
Evan Rodriguez. Pitbull is playing Evan Rodriguez in the
You saw
movie,
that
bro.
chick that did the Pitbull impression at his concert here, and she was like in the front row, had like the ball
Yes.
cap on. Yeah, we should
Oh,
get
yeah.
her to play Edwin in his biopic. That's
right.
Should be
One
the stunt double.
One shameless plug before we hop off here. Is the Transcendent Group coming to determine your destiny January 18th?
Yes.
You're on detachment?
No, man, I'm actually going to be in Philly for my hopefully
You
second
are.
to last Navy travel.
But what about your team?
requirement. I intend for some of them to go.
Fantastic.
I know.
And
I know
you'll
one
be
of your
DJing.
one of my past
I'm
clients is on his team, so
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I know his schedule.
Yeah, I also know his schedule. It ain't really a schedule. Make cold calls, aggressively try to cold call, see how it goes.
But January 18th, talk about that really quick because I'm spinning. I'll be there. You have a lot of speakers coming in. Iron Asylum, Norfolk is the actual venue.
Yep.
And you dropped some nuggets on us before we even walked in here on what's even leading up to that.
That Thursday, Michael Burt and Sean French will be in town.
Dope.
Sean French and his whole crew from the Determined Society podcast, which is, last time I looked, was like number 17 on Apple in the world.
Crazy.
Doing over 1 million downloads a month or something wild. But his purpose coming here is actually a road show. So there's going to be a podcast episode for the Iron Valley leadership. There's going to be a podcast episode for Noble Title leadership. Iron Asylum is getting one. Essentially, anybody that was a major sponsor for the event is going to get broadcasted on that show. He wants to give myself an episode. He's intrigued with my story, and it fits the bill for his platform.
Perfect.
Sean French, at a minimum, is going to be here Friday morning at the company training as a guest speaker. He's been a TEDx speaker. He's a podcast host, but he's also a prior D1 athlete and an elite salesperson. That doesn't get talked about much, but he made a living after his athletic career with the company paychecks. So he's a knowledgeable businessman as well.
Nice.
So he'll be here as a guest speaker. And then that Friday night on the 17th, we're going to do a charity fundraising workout event at Iron Asylum. Chris Bruno is going to run it alongside, I think, Trevor Jackson and the Bigger Picture Project is going to be involved in that as well. So essentially that workout, all those funds, anybody that buys a ticket and joins the workout, a portion of the proceeds for their ticket purchase will go to the Bobby Henline Foundation, which is a vetted, real nonprofit organization that we work with every year for Bruno's sweat raiser.
Yep.
So that's going down Friday night. And then on Saturday, if you bought a VIP ticket, you'll have a private lunch with myself and all the speakers. There's only 20 of those, so but you'll be with me, Michael Burt, Travis Wallace, who's an NBA performance coach, Daniel Gomez, who's my publisher and the #1 business executive coach in Texas. I got Mark Murray, who's a veterans benefits guru, coming. We got, I mean, it's just a lot, man. It's just a lot. Like, it's just going to be a lot. So
It's gonna be a good event.
Well, tickets you can get where?
brokerfromthebottom.com.
Boom, brokerfromthebottom.com. And
They're all over Facebook, Instagram.
And you're literally posting this shit every day, and we're sharing it. So if you haven't seen this yet,
It's been on the podcast. It's
Right.
been I had Sean French, Michael Burt, Daniel Gomez, Travel Wallace, Janae Sergio, all of them did Your Peak Life podcast episodes that are dropping as well. So I just ordered up some T-shirts and some wristbands. I'm getting notebooks. I mean, there's going to be it's going to be a conference. It's going to be a conference in Norfolk Iron Asylum.
Yeah, because
Gym.
you got vendors, or you're gonna have booths set
Yeah,
up.
there'll be
for a
resource
bunch of
booths like that VA benefits guy, Mark Murray from A1 VA Ratings. They're going to have a resource booth. He's bringing a crew of 8 people.
right.
He's actually helping my wife. They had the appointment today.
I like him a lot. By the way.
So he's going to have his whole team there on site, literally like teaching veterans what they do and offering their services.
Right.
Trying to get a couple more vendors out there, but there's going to be a lot, man. We have Janae Sergio, one of the speakers, is a top veteran and justice advocate in the country, and she's plugged into a lot of huge institutions like the Pink Berets and Grunt Style. I don't know if you've seen Grunt Style wear. And then it's Fit Military Women or Women Military Fit. I don't want to jack that up, but they have a massive following on social media.
Nice.
They actually volunteered to come out and post up a resource booth.
Nice.
Super dope because, I brought in a female speaker because I didn't want all guys.
Right.
I want it to be an event for everyone. So it's just going to be a lot of information there, man. Like, aside from the speakers, which sit down and pull out the notebook, like all of these people are doing huge things in life.
Yeah.
Like, one guy's an NBA trainer. The other guy owns the Greatness Factory in Nashville. He's got a Wall Street Journal bestseller. You got a top podcast in the world. Come sit down, take some notes, start your year off right. Like, that's really what it's for. That's really what it's about. And I will not divulge how much money I've personally spent or the sponsors have put into this event.
Don't need to.
Let's just say that the general admission tickets are really cheap.
And this should be, and it's affordable for everybody. Let's just say that. Realistically, if you don't want to invest in yourself, then that's a you problem.
But what you're going to see soon is some canvas art in the entryways of all the Iron Asylum gyms. Shout out to Alvin and Kyle for being the venue sponsor in the Norfolk location. And then I got some T-shirts coming basically I bought enough T-shirts for everybody that's on our corporate account at Iron Asylum. So I bought like 30 T-shirts so people can start rocking them at the gym. And then we'll have event day T-shirts for the workout and, I think it's like the first 100 guests or something like that.
Nice.
So, yeah, man, just kind of trying to level up from, we did the webinar in June.
Right.
And now this one's like people in person and next level. Like, I personally went to affordable tent rentals and picked out a stage and all it's going to be a good day.
Are you going to do the workout?
He won't be here. Be in Philly.
Are you going to do the workout?
Philly.
You going to do the workout?
I'll do the work.
I'm doing the workout.
Edgar's not allowed because he's going to win, bro. One of them's bench pressing or something.
I've been benching.
I just want to do the workout.
I think one of it's like how many reps you could do with your body weight, and I'm pretty sure you got that covered.
Is it bench press?
I know you don't weigh what you were weighing when we were lifting together. What do you weigh right now?
270. Still 270.
That's still almost 30 pounds lighter than before. I foresee him winning. I know how many times Edgar can bench press 270.
Damn right.
Okay.
How many places on each side? 3 on each side?
That's 2.25.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Right around there.
that's light work for him.
I believe it.
Super light work.
I've played offensive line against this guy. I get it.
Oh yeah, threw you into
Yeah, you just
yeah.
kept going, man.
Oh, no.
You know, I kept having to spin off of you. I had to use my speed against your slow ass. That's the only way I can get away from you. But if you got me, you got me.
But,
I smoked.
No. I'm talking about when we're
Oh,
face up,
okay.
I'm spinning off you every time. But if we're running, I'm like, you got that shit, bro. I ain't running after you. Your long ass fucking stroke.
Fast ass.
So yeah,
270.
it's really a
You are.
podcast roadshow mixed with a special training event, mixed with a private lunch, mixed with a conference.
Tickets at brokerfromthebottom.com.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
All right, Your Peak Life podcast episode. You know what it is. Mike, Edgar, Edwin, Julian, and our special guest, Mr. Andy Gomez. Thank you for being here, and we're excited to see what you do in 2025, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
Cheers.
All right.
All right.